Welcome to Mental Junk Food, and this is CB Smallwood, and you're at the place where we talk about all things comics, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, pulp culture, and everything in between. And today we're going to be talking about the Return of Fangoria Magazine. Or is it Fangoria? I always get mixed up between those two. Regardless, Fangoria was a really cool horror magazine, film fan magazine that was got its start in 1979, and pretty much at the height of its popularity in the 80s and throughout the 90s, it was the most prominent horror publication in the world. That's a pretty big statement, isn't it? Now, the magazine began struggling sometime in the 2010s due to a variety of factors, and those include generating enough ad revenue to cover the cost of printing. And, they're not alone in that struggle. There are a lot of magazines and newspapers that struggle, even comics, that struggle to cover the cost of printing. You take a look at publishers at Marvel and DC. They're fine because basically Disney and Warner Brothers, they don't care. They make billions off of their movies. So those two are fine. But for everybody else that doesn't have that type of umbrella protection, they're screwed because you have to rely on ad revenue to keep the doors open. And newspapers are failing across the country, but there's, other reasons for that. And then you look at magazines. Magazines are failing for one reason or another. And, the internet plays a role in it. Magazines not keeping up with the idea of offering more quality possibly in their interiors. And the ad revenue. The ad revenue is such a huge thing. If you can't get the ad revenue from people to put advertisements in your magazine, you're just not going to make it. And that's what happened to Fangoria Magazine. That was the biggest thing. That was the nail in their coffin. Now, what ended up happening is sometime in the millennium, the publication became sporadic in its printing. And sometime in the fall of 2015, the magazine ran through a succession of editors between the years of 2015 and 2016. They went through a bunch of them. And out of the blue one day, they just kind of announced online that Fangoria or Fangoria Magazine was done. Put a fork in it. It's extinct. And that was it. Until sometime in February of 2018, it was announced that Fangoria had been purchased by Dallas-based entertainment company SinState, who I'm probably not pronouncing right, who stated that under the editor-in-chief Phil Nobile Jr. that they would bring back the magazine as a quarterly print-based publication. Additionally, SinState intends to continue branching the franchise into films, podcasts, books, and announcing in May 2018 that it would be releasing the first licensed novel, Preston Fassel's Our Lady of the Inferno, as the first Fangoria Presents work. And so there you go. That's the bulk of it. Now, if you don't want to take my word for it, okay, I understand. I'm a little nobody. But the reason I came to know all this, became aware of the return of Fangoria Magazine, was our good friend Bob Briggs popped up on Facebook the other day, and he informed us all of the return of the magazine. And so I'm going to let him take it away.
I'm Bob Briggs, and I thought Fangoria was dead. And I guess it was dead, but now it's undead. They brought it back from the dead, and not only did they bring it back, they moved it to Texas. So now I know it's going to be great. It all starts in October. Go to fangoria.com. There's a button that says subscribe, and you're going to see what I'm talking about.
And so now you know the return of Fangoria Magazine. It's here, okay? And I'll try to leave a link in the description box down below, to the site if you want to subscribe or something. To Fangoria Magazine, that is, of course. So that pretty much wraps up the video. If you enjoyed this video, please do remember to hit that like button. Please leave a comment down below. I really, really enjoy reading each and every single one of you all's comments. You tend to be a lot more articulate and well thought out and well spoken than I am. And way, way, way better at the command of the English language and how to use proper grammar. Often a lot of people like to school me in that, and that's a fair criticism. But please leave your comments down below. I'd like to know what you think about about all this. Are you excited for the return of Fangoria Magazine? You know, what was some of your favorite issues that came out? I remember one of the ones that stuck out in my mind is when it had on the cover the return of the Living Dead 3. And I remember first reading it about it there before I actually seen the movie, and it was pretty cool, you know. And then the Mouth of Madness, that was another one that really stuck out. And you know, a cool idea is, what do you think about the idea of Joe Bob Briggs actually maybe like doing an article for them? Would it be kind of neat to get you a little bit of dose, a little bit of taste of Joe Bob Briggs by having him have an article in Fangoria Magazine? Regardless, let me know in the comments section down below, and please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I've set a goal for myself to get 1,000 subscribers. I struggle. I'm trying really hard here. It's just not working for me. But I'll keep pushing. With your help, maybe I'll get there. As always, this is CB Smallwood, and I will see you in the next video.